Hello, this is Marty Crawl, Music Department Chair at Ashland High School and one of their tech coaches. This video is how I made my virtual band, part 2, putting the video and audio together. Okay, first thing you want to do is make a new project in iMovie, or if you're using like Windows Movie Maker, you can do it in there. This video we're going to be using iMovie, so you'll see things in there, and if you're curious about how to use some of the functions in iMovie, or if you're doing this on a PC in Windows Movie Maker or something like that, head over to either my PC or Mac versions of how to create basic videos to see how to add some of the elements that I may skip over when I'm showing you how to do this virtual band. So once I create my project, when you click back, the first time you click back, it's going to ask you to name it. So name it whatever you want. I've got this called Making the Virtual Band. Then we'll import our media, and you can grab that straight off the desktop, or you can click in here and find the files you're looking for. So there's two ways to do it. If I know really where it is sitting on my desktop, typically I'll just scoot this over and drag and drop it in. So I'm going to put my logo in there as a startup screen. I'm going to grab all the videos. I would typically have this sitting in a folder somewhere. So we'll put a couple in here. And that adds it all to your media, and then I just need to find my MP3, which is right here. Okay. Now that MP3 I made earlier in GarageBand, so watch part 1 of this video. That's going to show you how I compiled all the audio to make one cohesive sounding track with the virtual band. So that's this file right here. It looks like a bunch of waveforms. So what I'm going to do is start by dropping this in there, and that's going to give me the length of my video because I wanted the length of this song. So dropping that in there. Now I've got my audio track. If I just hit play, you're going to hear that.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
So all that's been balanced and mixed down in GarageBand ahead of time, or you could use Audacity. Check out those videos to see how to do that. I thought it'd be fun to add one of my assistants that helps my field commanders in at the beginning, so that's why you hear that count off down here. So what I'm going to do is I'm looking, and this is 1.4 minutes. So my video needs to be that length. It could be longer if I'm putting credits at the end or something like that. But I'm going to look at how many students that I had contribute videos. I have more students contribute overall, but a handful of my students just submitted audio because they didn't want their face in. So when I chop that all down, I'll determine maybe I need about 4 seconds a student, 5 seconds a student, something like that. And then that's what I'm looking for. So if I get a larger number, if I end up with like 6 to 10 seconds a student that I can use, I'm actually going to chop that in half again, and then I'll have the student pop in twice. So for instance, let's say I'm starting with this. I like using my logo as my starting point. Let me move myself down so you can see this preview screen. So right away, it automatically sets this to 4 seconds. So maybe I want that to last longer. And maybe I want it to go right up till the song starts. So let me get it all the way to the count off.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, not quite there. Let me scoot. I can just drag this. I'm grabbing this and sliding it to the right. Now that I have something else, it can go before or after that. So if I hit start, there's going to be nothing for a second, and then you'll hear the count off.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
And then the next thing you'll see is whatever I put there. So I'm going to click on this picture, and I'm going to decide how I want it to look. If I just want it to fit, that's the whole picture. If I want to crop it, I can click that, and then it'll determine exactly how it's cropped. You can move things in and out, the handlebars, to decide what spot of any picture you want. You don't have to use the whole thing. I like Ken Burns. this effect because it moves around. So I probably will reverse that by clicking this button because the start's the small and the end's the big. I want to reverse that. I want to start with the full thing, and then maybe I'm going to end just on like the words Ashland, give or take there. So it's going to start here and end here, and do that in 7 seconds, it says right there. It says 7-second clip. So that's moving a whole lot pretty fast. So if I start at the beginning, you'll see that effect take place.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, so I like it when objects move like that. I don't like them too static. You don't have to move them a lot, but it makes them feel like there's somebody actually like there operating a camera and it's not still. So then I start grabbing different files. So I've got this one. I'll drop her in right there. And so like I said, I've got, let's say I've got 4 or 5 seconds a student. I am going to find a spot where I like what they're doing. Now when they're just holding an instrument, there might not be much to see other than see their fingers move. So we want to make sure we get some of that. So I can just grab the end of this here and I can drag it to a starting point that I like. So let's say I like it right there, and then I'm going to grab the other end and drag it in till I get the size clip that I actually am looking for. So let's say I want like 5 seconds. And there we go. That's about 5 seconds. Now I have my first clip done. Because what I'm doing is just trying to, I made the audio sound good in GarageBand, and now I'm just trying to put the kids in so that they can see their face. I'm not attempting to line up the moment in the video where they played something because that doesn't necessarily line up with the audio, because maybe this person here on this baritone didn't account for the drums at the beginning when they performed. So we may have to slide it left or right to get the lineup. So I'm honestly not concerned with that. If you are, you can painstakingly move this around once you get your other clips in place and make sure it lines up with the fingerings and all. If you want to learn about doing picture-in-picture and having two or more things going on at one time, just let me know. We can cover that in some other video. But the amount of time and effort it would take to look like those really fancy things done on the internet is not something that I have the time or want to. I'm more concerned about making it sound good and adding a little video element. So that's what you're looking at here. So I grab the next kiddo, and I'm looking for spots where they're doing something. A lot of it's easy to tell when you see gaps in the waveform right here. You know they're not playing. So, and I can slide those and get rid of them, or I can highlight a spot, and then I can snip that thing. I can Command B in GarageBand. You can trim it other ways in other programs. And then I just cut that ending off, highlight what I don't want, click delete. Now I have this segment, 5.1 seconds, that's about what I need. So now if I go back to the beginning and hit play.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, now you're saying to yourself, oh no, I can hear them play, it's not going to work. You're right. So what you want to do after you get stuff in line, or you can do it immediately, it's going to just depend on how you like to edit things, highlight your clip, and then up here, when you're editing, so we had talked about using this edit tool so we can crop it, or we can zoom in different places. The button right here that looks like a little speaker says volume, click that, and then you can mute this just by clicking that button. And when I do that, look down here, all those waveforms are gone. If you look down there, I'm going to click this mute button again. Now it's back on, you see the waveforms come back. I'm going to click it, now the waveforms are gone. So let me click this clip. Now the waveforms are gone. I'll start it right about there. You're going to see in the preview up there the video, but you're not going to hear the video. You're going to hear the audio from GarageBand.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
So what I'm really doing is just making a montage of students. And then one of the fun things I did was I went to one of our schools, found every administrator I could find, and added them playing an instrument. I'm going to mute this because I swore to him, I promised him up and down nobody would ever hear what he just did. So let me mute it first, and then you can see my principal playing the tuba. So that was really neat for the students. They're watching this video and they saw 4 of their principals taking part in it. So that was kind of fun, a way to add that without embarrassing the principal with their playing, just letting them look like they're having a good time. So give me a second, I'm going to get out of this and I'm going to open up my actual virtual Sloopy project that I did, and you can see what it looks like when it's all complete. Okay, so now that I've got this complete, I add in all my videos. You can see at the beginning, I even had a little video of one of my assistants conducting, and I lined that up. That was the only thing I tried to line up with the audio, was the sound of her conducting. I've got my still in here of my band logo, and then I added what we call a title right here that says Virtual Sloopy, and then I added a second title at the bottom that says with special guests. And you can grab those by coming up to here to titles. You grab one, I'll drop one over here for instance, and it's going to set it up the way it looks in this preview here. So if you want it bottom left corner, in the center, whatever, and then I can type something in. I'll just type in hello viewers. So now that's going to pop up once it gets to this slide.
1, 2.
So I did that at the beginning, and I changed the color, just like any other editing program. When you click on it, editing tools will pop up. You can change the font. You can change whether it's centered, left or right, justified, bold. You can change the color of the text. So I did that over here. I changed the color of the text to orange. I changed the font slightly, made it bold. And now when that starts, it says virtual band. And then on top of that, I added in just an annoying electronic sound effect there, just to get people's attention before it kicked in. So I didn't have my video start until right here, or my audio for the video, because I had this opening conductor. And then when the drums kick in, I actually had a video of a drummer, so I made them first, because at that point you're not hearing anything but drums. So if I hit play, let me get rid of that. I'm just going to hit delete. You'll see in little pieces about how all these edits work. So that's that background sound effect. Now it says Virtual Sloopy. Then the next title comes in with special guests, and then it kicks off.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
So after that beginning, I'm not too concerned about lining up. There's another principal, pictures with the audio, audio with the pictures. I just want people to have fun. I drop these clips in here, and then after I've dropped the clips into here, I start to move them around. I try to switch it up. So we've got some principals in there, and then we've got some students. Try to split it up between woodwinds and brass. You can see I got some of my band directors involved, and they're all just filmed different things. So I'm going to hit pause. So that just keeps going and going. There's one of my assistants right there who has no idea how to play the bass, but we thought that would be fun. And then at the end, let me scroll to the end. You've got me being a little crazy there with my warrior hat. And then I put in a slide that has everybody that played on it. And that can be found right here in the titles. If you go to here, scroll in credits, if I drop that in there, then I can edit whose name's on those different credits. So I put name in their instrument. One other thing I would suggest adding to your virtual band is maybe some transitions. So in this case, I've got, if I hit play here, you'll see between each clip, it just immediately goes to the next one. But then right here, I put in a transition. And that one is to fade it out. So you can see how that kind of faded out and didn't just abruptly go. Transitions are great. If I click on that, you can see there's a whole bunch of different ones. If I scroll over top of them, you can see how they work over in the preview screen. So any one of these you drag and drop between two files will transition it. I just didn't do it this time because each transition takes about a second, and this is only a 90-second song, and I didn't want to waste the precious few seconds I had with all the students and adults I dropped into this video. So once that was done, and I was happy with it, and I had to go in and make sure I got all the audio out of everything, right? And then make sure that sounded good. I went up to the top corner here, and I shared that straight to YouTube. Now, if you don't have that option on your program you're using, just save it as a file, and then it'll ask you different file types, MP4, .mov, any of those are going to work, and you can upload them to YouTube afterwards, straight through your browser. Well, I hope you enjoyed making the virtual band part 2. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me or go through some of my other videos on how to edit in GarageBand or iMovie or on PC in Audacity or Windows Movie Maker. Thanks for watching.